What is soft power? According to the English dictionary, soft power means power of a nation, state, or alliance deriving from economic and cultural influence rather than coercion or military strength. So, why the hell are we discussing soft power? It's because to understand the current political situation, we need to first understand the influence of soft power. And how can we understand it? By looking back in history, the Cold War, where the war between USSA and USSR was as much about hard power as it was about soft power. On one hand, USA implemented cultural exchanges where art, music, and films were promoted to promote American values and way of life. On the other hand, USSR engaged in cultural diplomacy, promoting Russian ballet, classical music, and literature to show superiority of socialist cultures. USA implemented Fulbright scholarships, and American universities became center of culture and intellectual exchange, fostering goodwill and understanding. On the other hand, the Soviet Union invited students from allied and developing countries to study in Soviet universities, hoping to cultivate future leaders sympathetic to the communist ideals. They also competed in other things like sports, where there was a competition between both countries on who could get the most gold medals and which athlete could trump the other athlete and win. And a very important thing to note was the space wars. Against those wars didn't involve any missiles, they involved rockets but didn't involve any missiles, where both countries competed for technological supremacy, Russia had the upper hand, or USSR had the upper hand, and had the first person in space. On the other hand, again, USA won that battle when it had the first man on the moon. So again, both countries were equal in might, but where did they win? They won by winning the hearts of the people and by showing that their ideologies were better, and their culture and their art and their music and their films were better and had a better lifestyle. So why is that important? Because the problem of violence is and fear is, you'll always create a demographic of people which are hostile to your ideals and which are hostile to your ideologies. On the other hand, when you're using soft power, it's like a slow poison in which you slowly inject cultural, social, and political values to a demographic. And like a slow poison, you slowly influence those people into accepting your ideologies, into accepting your cultural values. And this creates a higher chance of stability in those nations. So, why is it important in the current world? It's important because we see many terrorist organizations which countries are trying to fight through military power, trying to eliminate them through wars and through missiles and through military operations. But at the end, those wars are unsuccessful. May it be Afghanistan, the war in Afghanistan, in which if we just compare hard power, there is absolutely no chance that the Taliban could have won, but they did win. How did they win? Because at the end, USA tried to fight a war of ideology with weapons and they lost. Because the problem with violence is, if you're saying that wow, American idea, democracy and all of those ideas are better, but then you force the people and you kill people and you bomb people, and those people are afraid of you, and instead of accepting those ideologies because they're better and they provide a better lifestyle, they're accepting those ideas out of fear. This encourages people to go on the extreme and to support the extreme side of things and support the Taliban, and that's why USA lost. Because at the end of the day, USA couldn't show the Afghani people that Taliban and the lifestyle that they were trying to implement was actually worse than what USA was implementing. I'm not saying all Afghanis are part of Taliban, but but the problem is that there are enough people in Afghanistan who supported the Taliban, and who supported those government, and who supported the extremist ideologies. And there weren't enough people who saw the light, and who saw that USA was promoting a better lifestyle, and was promoting a place where people could live in a better society, and could live in a society where everyone was treated equally. So at then, that was where they lost. USA lost on the front of ideologies. Now coming to the current situation in Israel and Palestine. My problem with the current war, again, you can't ignore the war crimes and all of that thing that are happening. But the problem with the current situation in Israel is, Israel is trying to defeat Hamas by bombing and killing people. The problem with this whole situation is that Hamas is not just one boogeyman that you can kill off, or you can kill this one person and boom, Israel is safe and all Jews are safe and the war ends. The problem is that at the end, that's an ideology. When Palestinian people see that their children, their sisters, their brothers, their mothers are dying because of Hamas, because of Israel, because of bombing, they don't care about the fact that Hamas are also involved, or that Hamas are also causing violence. When your brother or your father dies, you don't think about who's right or who's wrong, or who's killing more innocent people. You think, oh fuck, my child died because Israel bombed a place. They won't think about the idea that maybe there were also terrorists there. They'll think about the idea that my child died, that my daughter died, and at that point they would support Hamas. And they're not empathizing with them, they're not wrong. It's human nature to, if someone close to you dies and it's because of this person, your brain doesn't think that, oh shit, they were wrong. They human brain think that, oh shit, my family died because of this person, now I hate this person. Oh, Hamas is trying to kill these people, I will support them. On the other hand, if it's, again, it's, I'm not saying that it's possible, but a peaceful, a more peaceful, or a situation in which less violence would not only benefit the Palestinian people, it would also benefit the Israeli people. That instead of a situation in which you're actually coercing people, and you're actually encouraging people to join Hamas, and to join the terrorist organization, you're actually showing people that they aren't doing the right to your people, and they aren't actually helping your people, but are actually against it, and are actually against stabilizing the region. And that's where my whole issue with that war comes. That both countries are both Hamas and Israel are not fighting for betterment of their people, but are actually fighting for an emotional cause. That, oh my god, this person killed this many people, this person killed this many people, so I'll kill more. And at the end, they both countries will lose, because both countries soldiers will die. Again, I'm not ignoring what Hamas is doing, or what Hamas is killing people, or I'm not ignoring how Israel and Israel's war crimes. But at the end, even if we ignore those war crimes, it is at the end a bad strategy to attack and kill people. Because, again, coming back to my point, that instead of going for soft power, they're going for hard power, and they're encouraging people to be violent against them. So, coming back to my point, the reason Israel, or any country like Israel, USA, China, are winning in the current world, or India are winning in the current world, is not because of their military might. They're winning because of their soft power. They're winning because they're exporting more of their culture. They're exporting more of their tech. They're exporting more of their people. And this in the current globalized world, this is how you win wars. You don't win wars based on how many weapons you have or how many nukes you have. You win war based on how much influence you have in the world, how much tech you distribute in the world. Tomorrow, if USA invades China and China cuts off its trade, USA would fall apart. On the other hand, if China invades USA, they would also fall apart, because in the current globalized world, every country is dependent on another country, and wars aren't as feasible as they used to. Back like 100 years ago, if you wanted to win against a country, you would invade them, you would kill all of their people, and and win. But in our current world, and in our current demographic, we can't do that. In our current world, we need to influence people, and this is where has always been winning. That through their movies, through their books, through, because literature is also very important, through their books, they have created a world where you can ask every child, and every child will say, wow, how prosperous USA is. And at the end, it may not be as prosperous as it is, but because of their soft power, because of how much culture influence they have, USA is always winning. And that's where I've like to end it. That at the end, it doesn't matter how many nukes you have, it doesn't matter how much you fund your military. If you're not educationally better, if you're not technologically better, if you're not creating enough literature, if you're not creating enough media content, you'll always lose, because power lies in how much influence you have in the world and how much tech you have in the world. And again, pointing to something that happened recently, the CrowdStrike meltdown, w- one company's fault affected the whole world. And in this interconnected world, it's a lot more crucial that we have soft power compared to hard power in the world. And that's where I like to end it. Thank you. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Khuda Hafiz. Sayonara and bye.